WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life. I hope you're having yourselves a fantastic day. Appreciate your patience this morning as we got set and ready to go here on Wake Up Call inside the Cafe Kubal studios. We thank you for being here. Cafe Kubal, all over our community on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 208 North Townsend Street, as well as here with us on 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse. And you can find them, of course, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital. And you can also find them out in Manlius on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. And, of course, you can get to them in their newest location, Sweetheart Corners, which is their first ever drive-thru, and I'm ecstatic about the drive-thru. Love the drive-thru. Was there on the first day of the drive-thru, and you can find that on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse, New York. And so make sure you go out there today and get some of the drive-thru at Cafe Kubal. So a lot of great stuff going on with Cafe Kubal. Like I said, you're here with us on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.com. You're also hanging out with us on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. So however you're connecting with the show, thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Jam-packed show coming up for you today. Very, very excited about everything we're going to get to do. You know, on TGIF, we do our trio of signature segments to start off the broadcast every Friday. We have the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver is the acronym, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, and that features Juanita Ward as my co-host. Juanita, who is a very faithful person, an inspirational person, a public speaker, an author, so many beautiful things, a great relationship with God. She joins us for Lead, positive, faith-based segment every single Friday to end your week well and hopefully start the weekend off right. And then we have the Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. So I'll be able to bring who that is to you this week around 10 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. And, of course, we have a special guest, and today is Euan McCreath. Euan McCreath joining us as a sports writer for HerbFM Sports Radio, and excited to have him on the broadcast today to give his thoughts. He was there as well as myself at the 2021 ACC Kickoff. So we'll talk about the kickoff. We'll talk about a year and a half in this pandemic, what we've learned, what we've taken away, what he thought from being out there and having the opportunity to be back at the ACC Kickoff, as well as how he's seeing the ACC football season this season, which includes Syracuse and 13 other institutions. And, of course, we will also get into the college football climate and get his thoughts on how college football is going and where it's going potentially from here. So a lot of great stuff coming up with Euan McCreath in hour number 2 at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Excited to talk with him. So a lot of great stuff here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Can't wait to unpack it all and get into all of it. So with that being stated, let's jump into the Annoying Moment of the Week. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like, and it is here for you every single Friday to start off the show. Here we go.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The Annoying Moment of the Week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so. The Annoying Moment of the Week for this week from Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. My Annoying Moment of the Week, I'd have to start things off with people not being who they say they are. You know, and in today's world, it's so easy to hide. It's so easy to be somebody else on social media and to pretend to be this and pretend to be that. But when somebody can pull it off in real life, when you have to actually talk to people and you have to lie to their face and you have to just say things you don't mean and and do things you don't mean and whatnot. It takes a very unique person to be a liar. And it takes a very unique liar to be able to do it right in someone's face. Because on social media, people can find ways to lie all the time, right? You can act like you got a ton of money and, borrow somebody's mink coat and put it on for 5 seconds. You can stand in front of a boat and say, yo, this is how I'm living, where I'm looking at them going, no, that's the dock you walk by every day. So, people can play a certain game on social media and, maybe potentially get away with it. But when you can lie to someone in person, or you can lie strategically and consistently, that to me says a lot about your character. So, there's something to be said about people that can lie consistently, and lie to your face. And I think it's crazy. I think it's sad that people do things like that, and treat people in such a way. But, being who you say you are is very important. I'm one of those people that I pay attention. And if you're not who you say you are, then, people can seek that out. People can sniff it out. People can, eventually figure out that you're not who you say you are. And it's sad when people aren't who they say, they are, when it's a good thing. I mean, if it's a bad thing, you're hoping, oh my gosh, I hope this person isn't who they say they are. But, when people do try to play that there's somebody else, or that they're living a certain way, or that they're doing a certain thing, you hope that people tell you the truth, but people don't always tell you the truth. And, that's something that you have to learn in life. Because I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to lie. I wasn't raised to cheat. I wasn't raised to steal. I wasn't raised to, take something that doesn't belong to me. That's just not how my parents raised me. And it amazes me because some people who are really, really good at lying or faking or pretending, they weren't raised that way either. So you almost sit here and wonder, where does that come from? How did they even get there? If the people that they came from and the places that they came from don't even do that. So, I would have to say my annoying moment of the week is not everybody is who they say they are. And unfortunately, you find out some people aren't who they say they are very late into the game. And it's sad. And it hurts, and it's hard, and it's tough. So if you're going through that this morning, or, really at any point this week or whenever, my prayers go out to you, because you can only deal with the information you've been given. And sometimes we're not given the greatest information. And, and it's funny because sometimes we think we're fooled by information, but it turns out that everybody was fooled by the information, because the information was presented to everyone the same way, and everybody believed that person. So, I really hope that those people that are out there that are good liars, I really hope that at some point, people sniff it out and they figure it out, because it's just not something you ever want to see happen to anybody or see somebody go through. And I just want there to be positivity, and I put that out there as well. Another annoying moment of the week is just being positive on social media, being kind on social media. Why do we have to be mean? Why do we have to be jerks? Why do we have to tell strangers you're ugly, or you're stupid, or I hate this, or I hate that? Why can't we just be nice to each other on social media? Why is it so hard? Why is it so difficult? We go through coronavirus and people are still picking on each other. You know what I mean? And to me, that just goes to show just how garbage, this is. And so be nice on social media. And I had to go to a funeral recently for somebody that I love very much. And there was people that knew that they had passed away in my life, and they didn't reach out to even just say, hey, are you okay? How are you doing? And these are people that claim to be people of God, that they love God, that they appreciate God, that God is first. And it's just simply not true. So, that hurts. And to go to a funeral and see, my mother get disrespected at a funeral, at the party after, is just insane. What is family if you can't even be nice to each other at a funeral? What is blood if you don't even know how to have common respect for people? You can't break bread with people. And I was watching the Jersey Shore this week because it's my guilty pleasure show, and I don't care what anybody says. I like watching it. And so I'm watching it, and there was this, wedding speech that bothered the bride that her bridesmaid said. And 10 months later, almost a year later, they were still complaining about it. They were still talking about it. And there's people in my family that do that. There's people in my family that have held grudges for 8 years, 10 years, 20 years. And the funny thing about the grudge is it shouldn't even have been a thing in the first place. And now all these years later, it's still a thing. How do you stay mad? Especially when there was nothing to be mad about in the first place. How do you pathologically lie to yourself every single day? And I'm protective of my parents. I'm protective of the people that I care about, my friends, who I consider to be my family. And family is not blood. Family are the people that show up. That's what family is. When you need somebody, they're there. That's your family. Sometimes it's blood, sometimes it's not. But what I can say is it's disgraceful to be disrespectful, hold grudges, ignore people, not let them sit with you, and be rude at a funeral. Somebody just died and you can't even be nice. Somebody just died and you can't even pull a chair out and say, sit here. You don't even have to talk to them. Just give them a place. I would not want to have the karma of a human being that could be disrespectful, rude, and hateful to somebody at a funeral. I don't want that karma. I don't want that on my life. I don't want that soot. And that's not me wishing bad on anybody. I don't wish bad on anyone. It just amazes me as a grown man that I have to be more of an adult than the adults that were supposed to raise those around me. So we need to do better, okay? There's been a pandemic. People are still mean. People die. People are still mean. People get cancer. People are still mean. People go through breakups. People are still mean. I mean, there's people that are blood relatives to me. And when I went through a ton of stuff in my life, they were nowhere to be found. Why? Because they held a grudge. Why? Because of something somebody said that wasn't even true. Why? 7 years ago, 8 years ago. How stupid is that? They weren't there for me in a real crisis because they made up a fake one in their head and got mad about it. Do you understand how much time goes by? Okay, let me paint a picture for you. 8 years. 365 days in the year. That means that person spent 2,920 days mad for no reason. Or mad because of something petty and something stupid. Think about that. Almost 3,000 days mad. For what? For what? So yeah, that's my annoying moment of the week. Because how can we not do better? And that's the second time I've been to a family funeral where people have ignored people, been mean to people, didn't look at them, didn't say hello to them. While there's a deceased body in the room, they're still not talking to these people. And the thing is, the person never did anything to them. They didn't even do anything to them. And it's a situation that didn't even involve them. So, if you can be mean to a person over nothing, you're wasting your time. If you can be mean to a person over nothing and it's at a funeral, you're just spitting up at God right now. And I don't want to see what that spit looks like when it comes back. Just be a nice person. Be a nice person on social media. Be a nice person in general. Why waste people's time? I can't stand time wasters. I cannot stand a time waster. If you're in front of me and you're talking to me, you better be telling the truth. Because if you're not telling the truth, you're wasting my time. Do not waste my time. My time is precious. Because you look back and you say, oh my goodness, this person spent 5 hours doing this or 10 hours doing this and whatever. And you look back on it and you're like, they weren't real, they weren't honest, they weren't just, they didn't. I'm not going to hire you if I can't count on you. I'm not going to date you if I can't count on you. I'm not going to be friends with you if I can't count on you. I'm not even going to talk to you in a public forum for 5 minutes if I can't have some type of feeling that you are who you say you are. And I don't know why people play games. I don't know why people are mean, and I don't know why people play games. And after everything we've been through, after everything we've seen, I cannot believe that people are still doing this. After everything we've seen, no toilet paper, no peanut butter, no bread, locked in the house, wearing masks, can't see anybody smile, can't see anybody's facial expressions, worried about our kids, people dying, hundreds of thousands of people losing their lives, and we're still jerks to each other. You realize God is up there right now, sitting on a throne, looking down, going, what has to happen to these people for them to give a dang? What has to happen? When somebody wastes my time, lies to me, whatever, I look at them and I go, Corona. Hello? We just went through a pandemic. We're still navigating through this pandemic. How could you ever continue to be a jerk? How? Shouldn't this have woken you up? Don't you appreciate people more? Don't you let somebody go in traffic? Tell somebody you only got a couple items go in front of me at the grocery store? Buy something nice for your mom just because? Go and see your dad just because? Why are we still jerks? That's beyond me. What is humanity doing? We're still fighting wars. We're still yelling at each other. We're still cold shouldering each other at a funeral. At a funeral. At a funeral. Okay? If you can be a jerk at a funeral, I don't know about you. I don't know about your life. But see, my thing is I'm a real individual, and I'm a God-fearing individual. So I'm not going to be mean, but I'm not going to not let you know at certain points. It depends. But there's a part of me, I got up and I said, okay, well, I guess I have to go back and forth. I guess I'm a free agent. I got to go here, and I got to do this, and I got to go here, and I got to do that, because you two tables aren't talking to each other, and I'm talking to you both, so now I got to go to both tables, and I got to make nice. No, that's so ridiculous. And I'm 35 years old. I'm 35. And I got to play, and I got to go, okay, you don't want to play in Cindy's sandbox? Okay, Bobby, well, you'll go here, and Cindy will go there, and then we'll blah, blah. No, you're adults. Act like it. And I have no problem looking somebody in the eye and saying, you're an adult. Act like an adult. We're at a funeral. There's a dead body right there. Is this how you really want to live your life? And how many people do you expect to come to your funeral if this is how you treat people? Hello? And what am I supposed to say when I come to your funeral? Yeah, we were related. They didn't talk to me for a decade. Nobody knows why. They have no respect for anyone. But I wish them the best. You know what I mean? It's, why be mean? Why be dishonest? Why waste people's time? And why hold grudges? And again, I watch Jersey Shore, and some people like it and some people don't. But what's the thing that was said on Jersey Shore? Holding a grudge is like drinking poison, hoping that the other person dies. Okay? There's no reason to be mad. Even if, okay, somebody said something mean to you. Okay, so address it with them. And if they keep being mean, don't talk to them anymore. And if they apologize and they make better, don't bring it up again. It's that simple. If somebody does something mean and they apologize and they do better, move forward with them. If they apologize and they don't do better, don't move forward with them. If they don't apologize and they don't do better, don't move forward with them. Or if they do everything right and you just don't want to move forward, then don't move forward with them. But don't be mean. And don't lie. And don't waste people's time. And if you're offended by what I'm talking about this morning in the annoying moment of the week, you're probably the person. Because you should not be offended by me telling people to not waste people's time and to not lie, cheat, and steal, and to not be rude, and especially not at a funeral. There's a dead body in the room. There's a soul that's supposed to be going up to heaven. And you're sitting there with your arms crossed going, I ain't talking to Stacy, she ain't talking to me. Are we four? Because I know a lot of 4-year-olds. I have nieces and nephews, and guess what? They're nicer than you. At 60-something years old. We just went through the world stopping. Your grudges should have died within a year and a half of a pandemic. If you're still drinking poison, I'm surprised you're still alive, but I hope to God you stop drinking it. And I hope to God it didn't course through your veins. And I hope to God it can flush itself out. Because why spend our lives being mean and angry and negative? I don't get it. I don't get it. When people love you and they support you and they're there for you, treat them with respect. If you don't, you will lose them. When you lose them, you're not going to find anybody like them. And when you don't find anybody like them, I don't want you to be sitting here complaining about it. Because guess what? It ain't coming back. It's not going to get better because you screwed it up. And you got to suck it up and deal with it. Okay? You want good people in your life, treat them with respect. And when somebody leaves your life because you disrespected them and you hurt them and you lied to them and you wasted their time, don't guilt trip them into staying. You made them leave. Deal with it. Apologize. And if they don't come back, that's on you. Okay? That's on you. Take some personal responsibility for how you live your life. If you're a negative person, you're going to get negativity. If you're a liar, people will eventually find you out. If you waste people's time, people will eventually find you out. And when you hurt people and you say horrible things, sometimes that person can forgive you, but they don't want to deal with you anymore. And I'm the type of human being where I will deal with a lot, and I will take a lot. And when I cross that line, when I cross that place, and I don't want to deal with you anymore, that says a lot about you and nothing about me. Because it takes a lot for me to go, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. But that line is not as far as it used to be. I'm 35 years old, and I want to be respected, and I want to be at peace, and I don't want any poison in my house, and I want to relax and have a good time. If you can't be a nice person, simple as that. Bye-bye. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. And Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver comes up next. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. This is Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. And we're in it this morning.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt from inside the Cafe Kubal studios. You're also watching on facebook.com/livenowdt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So however you're connecting with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in inside of these Cafe Kubal studios once again to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and of course, very happy every single Friday to bring you our positive faith-based segment, uplifting your spirits and hopefully helping your day, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe 6 months from now, you'll remember something. But whatever we can do to help you out, we try to do inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, bringing you Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. That is the acronym, and we actually started this. I called Juanita with the idea the December before the pandemic really came through, December 2019. And I don't know, at the time I was like, I got this idea. I want to bring it to Chick-fil-A. I feel something with it. I want to have Juanita be a part of it because of her faith and our connection and how we talk to each other and how she's, unapologetic about it and really just loves to share her faith. And, obviously Chick-fil-A is all about that. And so it kind of all came together and I was like, why now? It just kind of hit me in that moment. I was like, I want to do this. And then a couple months later, the pandemic hit, and so many people needed positive words. And so hopefully we've been able to share some of those with you, but God always comes on time. So today in Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. My co-host Juanita Ward and I have the topic that we are tasked with, which is God's secret blessings. But before we go there, we got to bring in Juanita. Juanita, how you doing today?
Hey, Dan, how's it going?
It's going very well. And, I love the fact that whenever you come on the show, I can hear your smile. That's what I love. I can always hear you smiling. So, I got to ask you about that. Why are you smiling today? Why do you somehow, some way find a way to smile?
I tell you, man, look, I'm a firm believer. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, for the joy of the Lord is my strength. And every single day, I believe that. Every single day, I believe that. Every single day, I believe that. So I wake up with that same joy. No matter what happened the day before, no matter what's to come, I just believe in speaking words into the atmosphere and speaking things into existence before they even happen. I just believe that. I believe that's faith. We believe that when we get up, we turn on our light, and all of a sudden the light is going to come on. We believe in that light. We believe in that switch. We believe that when we go to the AC unit and we push it, that the AC is either going to go up or it's going to go down. We believe that, right? We believe the house is going to cool down or the house is going to go up to a temperature where it normalizes out. Why can't we wake up in the morning and believe that we have the opportunity to create our atmosphere to have a joyful day? No matter what goes on in that day, you have to believe that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And then I know this, if I have joy, doesn't matter what happens in this day, God has given me the strength to go through it. For the joy of the Lord is my strength. So that's what I believe. I'm just crazy enough to believe it, and so I just wake up every morning and say the same thing over and over and over. So I just have crazy joy and crazy faith.
And that's the thing is, and it's funny because you said your grandmother, no matter what she went through, she would always say, God is good. And I've had a lot of stuff happen in the last few weeks that has kind of hit me some kind of way. And I got to tell you, Juanita, I get out of bed and I'm like, God is good. Okay, I'm saying it, God. I'm believing it. I'm here. You're good. I'm hoping that you're good. You're supposed to be good. What's going on? So, but it's funny because Kevin Hart talks about it, where his uncle got up, and he was doing this in a comedy special. He said his uncle got up at a funeral, and he was like, God is good all the time, and he paused, and you're supposed to say, and all the time, God is good, and he told everybody, like, you didn't say it, this is what you're supposed to say. He's like, my grandma got scared, and she got uncomfortable, and she goes, God is good all the time. Well, sometimes he's not. I don't tell nobody, but, it's one of those things where I joke with him sometimes where I'm like, God is good, and like you said, crazy enough to believe it, and I say to myself, God is good. God is good. God is great. God is good. God is great. And I say it And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing right now. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. I don't know what is going on. But I'm going to believe that you're good, okay? Because I know that you are, and it doesn't make sense. But Juanita, how do you navigate, all jokes aside, through those times where you're like, God is good? Is he good? I think he's good. And, and I mean, how do you get through those moments where you say it to yourself and maybe, your whole self is struggling to believe it because of something that's going on?
Well, it's just that you have to believe, and you have to believe in the good and the bad. The Bible says this: God reigns on the just as well as the unjust. He knows exactly your beginning from your end. He knows when you were. He knew the time that you were going to be born, and he also knows the time that we're going to take away from this earth. God knows everything about us. Ecclesiastes 3 talks about there's a time and a season for every single thing. If we're going to believe that God is good, we have to have now faith. And in having now faith, you have to believe that even though you can't see it, even though you don't know that it's there, you believe that something good is going to happen. Regardless to whatever's going on in your life, you just simply believe. The more you say things, the more it becomes evident, the more it becomes true. Whatever you dwell on, those are the things that you will have. And as I'm reminded, I love to say the scripture, and I love to go here because it really does help so much, and it talks about meditating on good things. Meditate on these things. Whatever you say, whatever you do, whatever you think about, that's what you're dwelling on. That's what will become who you are and what you do. And Philippians 4, verse 8 and verse 9 says this: finally, brothers, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. The things which you learned and received and heard and saw in me, do these things, and the God of peace will be with you. So the reality is, whatever we think about, whatever we dwell on, whatever we let our eyes see, whatever we let our ears hear, whatever we let our senses smell, those things become our reality and our norm. We cannot allow situations to determine what we're going to do. If God said in his word in Jeremiah 29:11 that he has a future for you to prosper, and he wants to give you hope, why would we not believe that? Why do we allow situations to determine what our future is going to be? Nobody on this earth can tell us who we are and what we're going to be. When you came into this world, you either came into this world one or two things. Either you came into this world a boy, or you came into this world a girl. One or two. And that's the bottom line to it. And we have to be careful in how we see ourselves. When you came into the world, you had a name. Your mother or your father or your guardian or whoever it was named you a name. And for years, you believed that that was your name. For years, you was told that that was your name. Every single time we get another age, 1, 2, 3. For years, people tell you, oh, you're age 1, you're age 2, you're age 3. And for years, you start to believe that. So then when you're a child, they say, well, how old are you? And you can regurgitate what you are because you believed in counting. You believe that somebody came into your life and told you how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they go, yay! You believe that.
Yeah.
Why don't we believe that good things can happen to us every single day? Why don't we believe that we already have a future? Why don't we believe that we already have a plan? Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We have to be able to believe that in having faith and believing now, those evidence that we're looking for that are not seen, they are on the way. We just have to believe. We just have to walk into it and simply believe. If we believe when we go out to our car and we stick this key into the ignition, or we put the key fob in our car, all of a sudden we can push a button and it's going to crank up. Why do we believe so much in material things that we don't believe that God can do? We just simply have to believe.
And coming from Juanita Ward, lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. And delivering this morning, we just have to, why don't we believe? And I say, and this is making me reflect. When God says, I have a plan for you, like you said, a hope and a future, to prosper you, not to have you fail, not to have you fall on your face, not to have people take all your happiness away, to prosper you. to see you succeed. I have a plan. Ain't nobody going to beat my plan. That's what God says. You know, and Juanita, today's topic, God's secret blessings. You know, I brought up one of them last week. I brought up the $2 bill, and I brought up, and people should go back and check that out. It's on video. But I brought up the $2 bill, and I brought up the sweatshirt and how this family said to me, you know, we got this for you, and we didn't know how to get it to you, but we knew you were going to come back. I knew I was going to see you again. That faith, I knew I was going to see you again. I haven't seen you in almost 2 years. We just went through a pandemic. But I'm going to see you again. I know that. I know I will. Because I trusted your word. You trusted my word. Yes, I trusted the word of Dan Tortora. Okay, so if you trust my word, how can you not trust God's word? That's the thing that, and, you know, and Juanita, God's secret blessings, the things that he does. I learned two things in listening to a video on YouTube this week. I learned two things, and I took them both with me. God does not show you gold and give you silver. God does not show you this amazing, incredible thing and give you less than that. You know, and they were talking about relationships when they say, oh, you see your buddy with this girl, and you see your buddy with that girl, and you see your buddy with this girl, and you're like, oh my gosh, these women are amazing. You guys got them. I'm so happy for you guys. That's gold. But God's going to give me silver. I dated somebody. I thought she was perfect. We broke up. Oh my gosh, God took away my gold. He's going to give me silver. No. God does not show you gold and give you silver. And this thing that Juanita has always said to me, but she said it to me in a different way, rejection is God's protection. I want you to think about that and marinate on that for a second. Rejection is God's protection. You didn't get the house you wanted. You thought you were going to keep living in Orlando, let's say. And you thought to yourself, this is where God wants me to be. I'm supposed to be in Orlando. The signs are pointing to Orlando. And all of a sudden, you end up back in Syracuse. And you got a house. Why? Rejection is God's protection. Oh, I thought I was going to marry this girl. I thought I was going to marry that guy. They were perfect for me. Then years go by and you think about what happened. Rejection is God's protection. Look at what they did. Look at how they hurt me. Look at what they said. Rejection. I wanted this job. It would have caused me to move halfway across the country. And it fell through. And then my grandma got sick. And thank God I was here and I didn't take that job because I got to live with her. Rejection is God's protection. Those two things, Juanita, I want to talk about those. God's secret blessings. God does not show you gold and give you silver. God's secret blessings. You don't know what they are. That's why it's a secret. God didn't tell you yet. You thought that he showed you gold and he's about to give you silver or bronze or copper or tin or aluminum or cubic zirconia. But no, he showed you gold. He's probably going to give you platinum. What do you think about that statement? And then about the statement that rejection is God's protection. Because in the initial rejection, man, we think, I just lost that house. That was the best house in the world. I just lost that job. That was the best job in the world. I just lost that opportunity to travel. Best travel opportunity in the world. I just lost that girl. Lost that guy. Best person in the world. But rejection is God's protection. Let's talk about those two things because they both have to do with God's secret blessings, where he puts his finger over his mouth and he goes, I'm not going to tell you yet. You just have to trust me.
See, if God gives you everything that he's going to give you before time, you wouldn't know how to handle it. It'll blow your mind. There's no way in the world that God can give you every single thing before the timing of when you're supposed to have it. If he did do that, then you'll be like the prodigal son. You'll want all the blessings, you'll want everything you have, you'll want everything, and you'll run with it, you'll get rid of it because you don't know what to do with it. You've grown to the capacity of understanding what you're supposed to do, have. Try to give you something. He's not the way he gives it to you.
Juanita, hold on 1 second. We lost Juanita on here. She cut out a little bit. So for those of you listening here, we lost Juanita for a second. We're gonna bring her back in and make sure that we can get her here. Juanita,
Can you hear me?
Yep, you were kind of coming in and out, and I didn't want people to lose the message. The signal was kind of coming in and out. So you had said if God gives you everything all at once, it'll blow your mind. You won't know how to handle it. Yeah.
It'll blow your mind. He can't give you everything that you need all at one time, just like he did with the prodigal son. He could not give The prodigal son could not handle the capacity of what he was supposed to have. He already was blessed. He was blessed beyond measure, and he wanted everything up front right then and there. So what did he do? He took everything that he had. He went out and he did everything with it. He had all the money. He had all the stuff. He went out and he did everything that he wanted to do. He lived his life to the best of his ability. He lived his life, and then all of a sudden, when all of it was going away, he had to go live with the pigs. He had to go get down and dirty with the pigs, because that was the only place he could actually live. Because what he did was, being selfish and greedy, he took everything that he had and he wanted, and he ran with it. The reality to this is, if God gives you everything that you need or that you want right now, your brain cannot control, your brain cannot handle the capacity of what God is going to give you. Even though there's blessings in every single thing that happens, Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for the good of those that love God, who are called according to his purpose. Even though there's blessings in the thing that God wants to give us, there's also blessings in the things that he takes away, because he sees your future from your end. And if he gives you what it is that you need now, you don't know how to handle it. But also, too, if he takes away something, it means that he's trying to stop you and he's trying to prevent something before it even happened. You see that it may be good, and you're like, oh, my God, I'm living this life. I'm living this dream. But what if that dream is about to end into something that you can't see before it even happens? But God does that. He sits up high and he looks down low, and he's watching every single thing that we do. So when he takes somebody out of your life, he's telling you, listen, just follow my plans. The plans that I have for you are good. They're perfect. The plans that I have for you, I just need you to align up and say, Lord, I trust you in all that you do. I trust you in every single thing that you do. God, if I can trust material stuff on this earth, why can't I trust you? I got to get out of my own way so that I can trust what you are telling me to do. You took somebody away from me. I believe that you have somebody great for me. You stop this relationship, I believe that the next person is going to come into my life is ordainedly divine by you. I cannot put myself in a situation to be hurt because of me. We have to get out of that frame of mind and thinking that we can do it on our own. It's called stinking thinking. You cannot allow yourself to think that you can live in this world on your own without God controlling your future, your next steps. Immediately when you want something to happen, or when there's a huge incident that's going to happen, it's an emergency incident, what's the first thing we do? We go, oh my God. Why do we say that? Because it's not that people don't know who to call on. It's the fact that they don't want to call on them when they need him. They only want to call on him when they want him.
Yeah.
Because when you actually need him, that's when you're at your lowest point. And when you're at your lowest point, you start trying to call on friends and family and people that you can actually pick the phone up and call and hear their voice. Well, let me tell you something, friends. Sometimes the people that you want to pick the phone up and call, they don't have the answer. And the first person you need to go to is God. God, help me with this, because I don't know how to get out of this. This has completely hurt me. This has completely taken me to a place that I don't want to be in. And I know that you're good all the time. And I know that God is good all the time. So why did I get in my own way? God, help me to create a new mind and a new heart and a renewed spirit so that I can do the things that you're asking me to do. Because if you say that you're good all the time, I just got to believe that you're good all the time. Doesn't mean that my emotions on this earth are that I'm not going to cry sometime. I am going to cry. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to have, feel some type of way about a situation. I am. But the Bible says to be angry, but sin not, which means I cannot be angry at you and want to hurt you and want vicious things to happen to you. That's sinning. I have to be angry for justice, which means if I see that there's a problem going on and a situation that's going on that I don't like, I want to try to change it for the better, for the good. I don't want to try to change it to hurt you just because you hurt me. I want to try to hurt you. No, don't do that. You're stopping your blessing. If something is removed out of your life, just say, God, I know you got something better for me. Okay? It really is that simple. Even though emotionally we get attached, but you still got to believe, God, I know you got something better for me. You got to just be real with him and just talk to God and just say, God, listen, it hurt. The house that I wanted, it hurt. Now it hurt. The job that I wanted, it hurt. Now I got to leave. That hurts, God. That hurts. The person that I was dating, I got to leave that relationship. God, that hurt because I thought we was cool. They said we was cool.
Yeah.
But it hurt. God, I know you got something better for me on the other side. I trust you. Just like I trust putting my right foot in front of my left foot and my left foot in front of my right foot to keep my balance and to keep going. God, I trust
From his studios.
Like that.
Yeah, and you said it. I mean, you said it, Juanita, and you said it well. We and I do it. I do it all the time. I do it. God, why would you take this away? Why would you take this from me? When you pray, you got to be prepared for the answer. Whether or not we think when we don't get the answer we want that God didn't give us an answer. There's three answers that God gives to every. There's one of three answers God gives to every prayer. Yes, not right now, and no, because I have something better for you. You got to trust me. And when I look back on stuff, I got self-reflective, and I started to write down things. And this week I wrote down things, and I got self-reflective. And my mom goes, "Why did you do that? Why would you put yourself through your past again?" I said, "I didn't put myself through my past again. I was reflecting." And when I reflected and I put a bunch of stuff down on paper, you know what I saw? Bad, 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 bad. Not good for you. This was not good. This was leading to a dead end, a dead end, a dead end, a dead end, a dead end. None of those things weren't leading off a cliff. But in the moment, I said, God, I needed this, I needed this, I needed that, I needed this, I needed her, I needed that house, I needed that. And when I go back and I look at those things, those decisions that I felt like I had no opportunity to make, not even no opportunity to make, but I felt like they were made for me. When I go back and I look at them, none of them would have bore fruit. All of those trees were dying. Every single one of those trees was sick and had no fruit, nothing on it. And I go back and I look at but this girl this, and this place this, and this that. And God said, yeah, that place looks pretty, that house looks pretty, that girl looks pretty, but they didn't bear fruit. Facades, Daniel. Facades, Daniel. Listen to what people say. Watch what they do. Listen to what they say. Understand. This job was not right. This person was not right. This place was not right. There's a reason why you are where you are. And I keep blessing you. You keep saying to me, bless me here. I'm blessing you there. Pay attention to there, because that's what I'm focused on right now, Daniel. That's where I'm blessing you, Daniel. That's where I want your attention, Daniel. You asked me for something, and I gave it to you. I just didn't give it to you in the package that you thought I was going to wrap it in. But this is what it is. This is what and I say that to God all the time. Listen, God, I'm upset about this one part of my life, but you blessed me in 20 other parts of my life, and I don't want you to think I want to give those blessings back, and I don't want you to think because I'm focusing on these two that I don't respect the 20, because I do. Because we do that all the time, and I want God to know today, every day, and in this second, in this moment, in this instant, I love all my blessings. Thank you. Thank you for all of my blessings. I'm sorry for complaining. I'm sorry for worrying. I'm sorry for fretting. Because God will look at you and say, man, I didn't give you this, but look at what I did give you. Look at what I'm doing. I'm over here building you a garden, and you're over here tending to the weeds. I built you a garden, and you're looking at this weed saying, why won't this weed bear fruit? Daniel, focus. Focus on where this is. You thought you were supposed to be here, and I'm keeping you here. Why? Why am I keeping you here? And God just did that in my life. I thought I was going to go somewhere and do something, and God keeps building something here. He's like, I'm building it here, and I'm growing it here, and I'm blossoming it here. Yeah, but God, they want me to go there. Yeah, Daniel, they want you to go there. Did you ask me where I want you to go? Did you ask me what I want you to do? I'm building you a foundation here. You're trying to build a house over here with pebbles and sticks, and I'm over here with cement and bricks. Focus on what I'm building you, Daniel. Focus on what I'm giving you, Daniel, and understand if I'm putting it here, then this is where I want you to build your house. It hits you some kind of way when you take a step back and you go, man, I keep asking God to do this for me over here, and he's doing that over there. And man, all that stuff is great, but I'm so focused on that. Why am I focused on? You know what? What if I go help God build this house? Could it get built a little bit faster? I mean, God could build the thing by snapping his fingers, but he obviously wants me over here building this house. So pay attention. We do not always know what's best for us. We do not always know what is right. We do not always know what to do. But I have a prayer that I always say to God, and you know what? Lately I haven't liked the answer, but he hasn't lied. He's always come on time. He's always answered it. I just didn't like the answer, so I acted like I didn't hear it. The prayer is, God, guide me toward what is good for me. Guard me from what is not. Guide me and guard me. Light my path in the darkness. Give me a shield from the darkness. Light me, bring me to the light. Block me from the dark. Guide me to what you want. Guard me from what you don't. Be my guide and guardian. It's a simple prayer, and I told somebody to say that last night because they're trying to figure out a bunch of big decisions in their life. I said, ask God to guide you toward what is right for you and to guard you from what is not. I prayed that prayer over and over and over and over again, and I said, God, you didn't answer me. And God said, no, I did answer you. I just didn't give you the answer that you wanted. But I gave you the answer that you needed. Those are secret blessings. Just because he doesn't give you what you want doesn't mean he's not listening. And it's amazing how today you might feel down in the dumps and you're crying and you're sad and you can't figure out how to do anything. And then 3 weeks from now, you can't even believe that you were laying in bed crying. You're like, why the heck would I have done that? In the moment, it is so hard to think that we can get past it. But you will get past it. Guide and guard. God will never show you gold and give you silver. Rejection is his protection. When he says no, that doesn't mean I don't love you, my child. You're not my child. I don't care about you. I'm going to leave you in the cold. I'm going to leave you in the rain. But what he does say is when you are around people that leave you in the cold and leave you in the rain, why would I let you sit outside, my child? If somebody throws you in the dirt, why am I going to let you lay there? I'm picking you up. I'm saying come in this house. I'm saying dry yourself off. Why are you sitting outside in the rain? I didn't put you there. Guide and guard. It's as simple as that. God will never take you away from something good. Believe that. Believe that. God will not punish his children. Believe that. The devil speaks lies. The devil deals in confusion. Not God. So I know your heart may be heavy today, but someone's trying to help you carry it. His name is God, and he would like to be there for you. Guide and guard. I hand it off to you, Juanita, for any final thoughts.
In order for us to allow God to guide us, in order for us to allow God to guard us, we have to really allow him. We have to really get out of his way. And we have to say, God, your thoughts are not our thoughts. Your ways are not our ways. And in anything and everything that I do, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you because I believe that you said, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to my own understanding. And in all thy way, God, you said that you would direct my path. I trust you. I lean to you because me trying to handle the situation without my protection, I can't do it. I'll make a mess of it. So I got to have you to guide me. I got to have you to provide for me. I got to have you to lead me. Because if I try to lead you, I'm going to stumble. I'm leading myself blindly. But I know if you go before me, you are the light. You're the protector. You're the one that's going to open the door that nobody else can open. You're the one that's going to close the door that nobody else can open. And so if I'm going to allow him to do so, I have to get out of my own way. And I have to allow him to do it. I can't tell you, God, what you can and can't do. I can't tell him how I want things to be done. Because clearly, every time I try to tell him how I want it to be done, I get a rejection. I get the other thing. But if I believe that he said in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for you, thus says the Lord, plans of good and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. I just have to simply believe that God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. And I have to also believe that now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Speak life, speak positivity, believe positivity, create positivity by the words that we say each and every day. We have the opportunity to control the atmosphere because we are speaking positivity in the atmosphere. Before we even get out of the bed, we're speaking positivity. We're surrounding ourselves with positivity. We're surrounding ourselves to have a creative mind and creative thoughts. And in doing so, the first place that it starts is within us. What do you say about yourself? What are you saying to prepare you for when you walk out the door? Speak life. Believe I can, I will succeed. You have to believe that. You have to decree it. You have to declare it. If you say you want the big house, you believe it until your energy starts working towards it. Well, why can't you believe the same thing? To prepare me, surround me with people that are good, with people that have good intentions, with people that have good vibes. If I'm around somebody or around people that don't have that, exclude me from it. Because I don't want to be in that stinking thinking. I know that I have a future, and I know that I have a plan. And I want to keep myself on target, and I want to stay on task to fulfill all that I am to fulfill.
That coming from Juanita Ward, my co-host here in Lead. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver God's secret blessings. Sometimes when we don't get the answer we want, actually all the time we don't get the answer we want from God, just keep saying, guide me on your path. Keep me focused. What Juanita just said. Keep me going in the right direction. Keep me on that path. Help me to get out of your way, God. That's a good prayer. How about that? One sentence. God, help me to get out of your way. Help me to get out of your way. We're telling God to take the shot, and we're playing defense. Get out of the way. Let him dunk it. High percentage. We're trying to make him shoot a half-court shot with a hand in his face. And he'll make it, but get out of his way. Just get out of the way. God, get out. Help me to get out of your way today. What a prayer. What a prayer. Juanita, as always, I appreciate you. I thank you. Juanita, a voice of reason for every season, a positive influence, a faithful steward, and somebody that I respect and appreciate so much. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Juanita, as always, thank you for your time, thank you for your words, and thank you for your spirit and your positive energy that I feel today. I always appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Dan, man. Have a great day.
I'll talk to you soon. That coming from Juanita Ward here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Always happy to be here with you, spending some time on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So, hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning. The top dog of the week is coming up next on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora right after this, where sports meets life inside of the Café Kubal studios. Thank you to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver every single Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, featuring Juanita Ward and myself, Dan Tortora. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success at Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and appreciate you for being here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and thank you so much for being a part of Wake Up Call every single week. You're listening on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. And on the homepage of wakeupcalldt.com, and you're watching on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/livenowdt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Before we get Euan McCreath here on the broadcast, I do want to bring you our segment that we do every single Friday, honoring someone or an organization, maybe a group of people, in the Top Dog of the Week. Top Dog of the Week, proudly brought to you by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. But I can't do it without Lily, so here is her voice as we do the Top Dog of the Week for this week. Top Dog of the Week this week, I would have to say, is, and I have a few. I have a couple. Well, actually, it's more of like it's more than one person is what I'm saying. My top dog of the week, to kind of go back to the annoying moment of the week, my top dog of the week are all of you that are the bigger people, right? The bigger person. And the irony is sometimes the bigger person's 4 foot tall. But the bigger person, the person who always does what they feel is positive, just, kind, compassionate, even when they don't want to be. And how many times have you felt that way? I felt that way. We felt that way. My mom's felt that way. Many people have felt that way. Being the bigger person. When somebody does something mean to you and you want to do something mean back, what do Juanita just say and lead? You don't give it back to them. You don't seek to equal them out. You don't do that. Well, my top dogs of this week and every week are the people that are the bigger person, right? The bigger person. The person who is going to be kind even when kindness is not brought to them. They're going to be just even when justice is not brought to them. They're going to be compassionate even when compassion is not brought to them. They are going to be positive even when negativity rears its ugly head. My top dogs of the week are everyone out there doing the best they can, being the bigger person, being kind, being true to who they are, and acting how God would act, even when they don't want to. Because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's really, really, really difficult to just not want to be mean back, not wanting to get somebody back, not wanting to equal somebody out. Quick fix, whatever it may be. So my top dogs of the week are the people that are going through life right now saying, dang it, it's so hard to be the bigger person. It's so hard to be nice. It's so hard to walk there and give somebody a hug that's disrespected you or shake their hand when you know they've talked behind your back. Shake the hand that held the knife that stabbed you in the back. But being the bigger person, being positive, being in the eye of a storm and seeing all the chaos, trust me, it will benefit you in the long run. Because if you hurt people that hurt you, then at the end of the day, and at the beginning of the day and at the middle of the day, guess what? You still hurt somebody. So yeah, they hurt you, but you hurt them back. What does that do for anybody? So if somebody hurts you, be kind. If somebody's mean to you, be kind. If somebody disrespects you, be kind. Doesn't mean keep them in your life. It doesn't mean that you can't distance yourself from them. It just means being the bigger person is showing light in the darkness. Don't add more darkness to darkness. If somebody's negative and they're mean to you and you are negative and mean to them back, it's just dark upon dark. I'm not saying get yourself taken advantage of. I'm not saying be around people that disrespect you. I'm not saying be complacent in relationships. I'm saying that when somebody wrongs you, a stranger, a loved one, whoever, an acquaintance, a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, a mom, a dad, whoever, when somebody disrespects you, hurts you, lies to you, cheats from you, steals from you, I'm not saying you got to keep them in your life. I'm saying just be kind and be the bigger person. Because I've never known anybody to say, man, that person really hurt me, but I stuck it to them and I felt great. And they might tell you that in the moment, but it doesn't feel good when they walk 7 steps down the road. So, 5 steps down the road, whatever it takes. So my top dogs are the people that are the bigger people, even when it's hardest to be, especially when it's hardest to be. You're my top dogs. Brought to you by K9 Kamp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Head off to them today, 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse for the dog daycare, and the campground right around the corner by going to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse for short and long-term care for your furry-loving friends. Look no further than K9 Kamp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, 2 amazing places that are extensions of our families doing good for those that we love so very much. We'll take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we'll be back momentarily after this fast break with Euan McCreath, for the first time ever, Sportswriter at HerbFM Sports Radio, joining us to talk about all things ACC, college football, and his time as we spent it together at the 2021 ACC Kickoff. We'll get his angle, his thoughts on the kickoff right after this, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecabal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, located on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, is home to over 40 flavors with more than 200 flavors in their total wheelhouse. Sky's the limit for this sweet and savory Central New York company. Keep it local at your parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, baby showers, and more by calling 315-450-MA-PA. That's 315-450-6272 for popcorn bars with custom flavors and colors at your upcoming event. Make sure to visit them on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And for more information, go to maandpassnacks.com. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Head out there Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. to enjoy the Millhouse in 3 different ways. They have their drive-through pickup window. Don't even have to leave your car. Grab your food and go. And you can get that by going to the app, the Millhouse Market app on the Google Play or Apple App Store. You have the entire menu at your fingertips, all the ingredients, all the information that you need, from the homemade breads to the salads, the desserts, the quinoa bowls, the rice bowls, the brick oven pizzas, and of course those sandwiches that are named after the families that helped to settle today's Pulaski. Ingrained in our community and ingrained in our taste buds, there is nothing like the Millhouse Market. Whether you're down the road or 30 miles away, they are absolutely worth the drive every time. The drive-through window open for you Tuesday through Sunday, as well as the general store with local products from local companies, as the Millhouse looks to pay it forward with local syrups and honeys and so many different pieces, different articles of clothing, kids' toys, and made locally by people that really, truly in our community are doing amazing things. And of course, their indoor restaurant is open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday, and the bistro menu changes on the weekends, so you can always have something new on the specials at the Millhouse Market. 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Worth the drive every time. With that being stated, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we're back inside of the Cafe Cabal studios. Cafe Cabal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 208 North Townsend Street, 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse. Of course, downtown Syracuse inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital. And out in Manlius now at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. And their newest location and their first ever drive-through location, which is paramount for coffee, tea, and all the good stuff, on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road, Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse, New York. You know, Sweetheart Corners is so nostalgic to Syracuse, and I feel like when I meet, maybe that's God's comedy, maybe that's his humor, maybe I meet the love of my life on Sweetheart Corner. Wouldn't that be funny, and wouldn't that be a story to tell? So, with that being said, inside of MaandPasPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we brought you our 3 signature segments every Friday, the annoying moment of the week, lead, as well as top dog. And now it's time to round out today's show with a guest we've never had before, somebody who I got to spend some time with last week, and very happy to have him here on the show. Euan McCreath. He likes you ski or you, but Euan McCreath here with us this morning, a sports writer with all things ACC and connected with HerbFM Sports Radio. So let's bring in Euan and see how he's doing this morning as we round out this week with a great conversation with a new guest that I'm so very happy to have. Euan, how are we doing today?
Oh, fantastic. Another day closer to football is the way I look at it. We're just chomping at the bit to get on the field. So it's great to have that to look forward to, and the fans being back. That's what really makes college football. So I'm doing fantastic, DT. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and fans in the stands, man. That's we never thought there'd be a world. The funny thing about life is I forgot. Like, I legitimately forgot that last year I was sitting in a dome by myself with, there's like 40, 50 people total in the press box, but like it was just us. We were in this one rectangular area, and the whole dome, it feels like a dream. It feels like a nightmare. It feels like something that didn't happen. And I told you it didn't even hit me until we were at ACC Kickoff last week. And a week ago yesterday, hard to believe, and Dino Babers was right in front of me, and I went to ask my question, and I'm holding the microphone, and he said, "Hey, Dan, good to see you, Dan. Missed you, Dan." And I'm thinking, why did he miss me? We've talked for a year, and then I'm like, oh, my Lord, I haven't been in a room with this man for over a year. When he was like, "Missed you, Dan. Good to see you, Dan." And I'm sitting here thinking, I've talked to this gentleman in my car. I've talked to him in my house, in my buddy's apartment. Like when we're on Zoom, we're all over the place. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, wow, this is the first time I've actually like shaken Dino's hand in a year and a half. So, very surreal. But I'm ready for fans to be in the stands. I'm ready for places to be busy again. This stupid virus needs to just go away and never come back. Who would have thought that the sports world, Euan, where we all travel to, right? We all go to the sports world to run away from the craziness of life, and we didn't have it for the last year and some change. And hopefully it's helped people to appreciate it and keep some, fans in the stands. But gosh darn it, I have just missed having normal sports life where people can just, come enjoy themselves and get away from so you go to the movies, you go to sporting events to feel good, to be uplifted, to have a good time, and to decompress. So I hope we get to do that again.
No, absolutely. The old adage is you don't know what you got till it's gone. And
Yeah.
now that I think that sports and everything else that came with COVID left us, I think we just have naturally, DT, a better appreciation for it. Goodness. I go in the grocery store and I just love seeing smiles, and I'm like, wow, I took seeing smiles for granted. The things that we've taken for granted have really come to the forefront with this virus. But I tell you what, it's slow, it's a process, but we're getting there, and we're more excited than ever to get these guys out on the field to play some ball.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it, and you have such a unique name, and I got to ask you what you like. What you prefer, Euan, or Yuski, which one you would like to be called, because I want you to have that one. But the fact that your name is spelled E-U-A-N, but it's pronounced you win, like you win. And I love that. It's like that's gotta be like the greatest pickup line ever. You walk up to a girl, be like, "Hey, you won today." You know what I mean? This is. Yeah, go ahead.
Meanwhile, DT, I'm 48 and still single, so I don't know. Maybe I'm not using the pickup lines the right way. But, my mother was from Scotland, and I was named after my uncle Euan. And if someone looked at me, they'd be like, hey, that guy's not Scottish. My father was Dominican. Yeah. So I have kind of a broad ethnic background, to say the least. But, yeah, I'm going to still work on those pickup lines, DT. Let me know if you can help me out.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy. All I can say to you is, and we'll step aside from football for a second, if you'll roll with me in this, it is not dating in today's world. I don't care if you're 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. Dating in today's world is insane because there's apps and people can fake you out in person. They can lie to your face. They can lie online. I'm honestly in a place right now where I feel like if you meet a woman online, you're gonna show up at the date and and standing across from you is gonna be Barney the purple dinosaur. Like I genuinely believe that now. So I mean, what can you say to the world of dating? You've asked me to be a single man when I come out to visit you, and bro, I'm probably gonna keep with that. You know what I mean? So,
well, listen, yeah. DT, good wingmen are very, very hard to find, man. So, when you got some kind of, continuity with anyone, that hopefully will translate, into the female, dialogue. But, what can I say about it? It's rough. It's tough, it's up and down. It's inconsistent. I'm an old school guy. I want to bump into someone at the grocery store and ask them to go out for coffee. And I feel like I left all my game in my 30s, so I don't have any game anymore, man.
That's the thing is you don't need game. That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to just bump into somebody and something happens. The Michael Bublé song, I just haven't met you yet. So, you never know how it's going to happen, but I believe, listen, all I know is after, actually getting to meet you face to face and spend some time this past week, I think if for nothing else, you and I are going to have some pretty incredible stories.
I think we could do plenty of segments on our stories to come, my friend. So yeah. I'm looking forward to making those memories, having that time, and just having fun. I mean, this is what makes sports so great. It brings, I didn't know you. I certainly had heard about you, and I have looked at your website before this year. But, getting a chance to hang out, spend time with you, and see what you're all about, and just a phenomenal job representing your brand at ACC Media Day, DT. You absolutely killed it.
Well, I appreciate that, and you did an awesome job too, and I love that. I love that you were out there doing your thing, putting yourself out there, asking a bunch of questions, and really giving yourself an opportunity to get the full effect of it. That's how I feel about it. There's 14 institutions. I want to get to know them all. You did an incredible job of doing that as well, and I respect that. I respect the questions that you had, the time that you put in, and I respect the fact that, real recognizes real. So shout out to you for the job that you did. And like I told you, bro, listen, if you didn't, I've never been to this the thing, I'm telling people now, I've never been to the tailgate party. I come down, I fly down to Charlotte. I'm usually there, by myself doing my thing. I do my work for the day. I go back to the hotel. And, I get set for the next day and whatnot. So I wasn't planning on going. And just the kind of how it all worked out, where I get the, hey, Dan, are you coming to the party, and this, that, whatever. And you literally walked in, you bumped my fist, and you're like, DT, you coming to the party? And I was like, well, I guess I have to now. So because of you, I got some of the best chili and cornbread that I've had in years. So, and good conversation. And I got to meet some other people and, sit and talk with them for a while. So there was a lot of cool things that actually evolved from it. So I got to give you some credit that if you didn't come up and invite me to come out to the party, I wouldn't have been able to build some really cool bonds. And Carl Haywood was on the show yesterday. So, it's interesting how life works. So I think the grocery store connection, when that comes, in romantic life, but also, just with people in general and friends, sometimes all it takes is coming up and saying, hey, how you doing? Heard you in there. Thought the stuff was great. You coming out to the party. And, if for nothing else, I walked away from Charlotte with a whole lot of blessings and a whole lot of people to have in my corner as I step forward. So I think it was a win all around. You and I got to ask a lot of questions. We got to talk to all the schools. And at the same time, we got to have some fun, decompress and relax and build a friendship. So I think Charlotte done us both good this year.
I agree with you 100-fold, my friend. And you know what it is that, with different universities and athletics, they're families. And I feel like, the media, to some extent, especially, the conferences, we're a fraternity ourselves. We have to have each other's back, and we have to network and we have to look out for each other. So I think all of those things kind of came together in Charlotte, and it was an extremely successful ACC Media Day. The athletes, the coaches, they just put on a great show at the Westin.
Yeah, it was an awesome time here with Euan McCreath on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Sportswriter in connection with HerbFM Sports Radio. Euan, you had the chance to, like I said, get to know these institutions even more so this year. What did you take away from this year's ACC Kickoff? What were some of maybe the biggest moments, or maybe a question or two that you really felt like you got a good answer from, or something you were really looking for? What what were the nuggets that you took with you that you kind of, take out of the, open up your backpack today and go, oh yeah, you know what? These 3 things that I found, I'm going to keep with me throughout the football season or maybe forever. What are some of those pieces that you really felt like were the pillars of your time at the ACC Kickoff this year?
Well, first and foremost, I really enjoyed talking to Mackenzie Milton. His return and his injury have been well documented, but just the flat-out appreciation that I really felt in his voice to have another shot at the game that he loves, the game that was taken from him. That really struck me. In fact, he got a little emotional when talking about the ups and downs, and I think that's just the purity of college sports. That's the pure love of the game. And, when I welcome back to college football, it's just something that, we talked earlier, you appreciate things more when they're taken from you. So I just think, I'm not a huge Florida State fan, but it's hard not to become a fan of his after knowing his story. So that's one of the takeaways that I really took from ACC Media Day. And the other one, I'll stick with quarterbacks. I was in the breakout room and I asked Sam Howell about, the ability to kind of be disciplined enough to throw the ball away. But when you're such a competitor trying to make plays on every single snap, it can lead to mistakes. So I thought his answer was really, really profound, DT. I mean, he said that that's one of the things that he struggles with and that, one of the things that he's constantly working on. And, I kind of thought that humble kind of approach and that honesty was just something that really struck me about Sam. And quite frankly, with image, brand, and likeness coming out, this changes so much about the marketing of college football players, their paid, their institutions, everything that comes with it. And I just think it's going to be an incredible college football season, and I can't wait to get it underway. Those are just a couple of the things that I took away from ACC Media Day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, having those takeaways, having those moments that really stick out to you, that are special and that are unique, and being able to be there. I think that's the biggest thing. Speaking here with Euan McCreath of HerbFM Sports Radio, a sports reporter and writer, and speaking on the ACC Kickoff and beyond, being able to go to the kickoff and experience it again. We had this taken away from us. The world has been interesting, to say the least, in the last year and a half, and we never I know I never thought, and I can't imagine you did, that we would ever not have an ACC Kickoff. That last year seems like a distant, very strange memory where they just kind of did it all themselves and they had their camera crews there and whatever, and we could watch it, but there was no, integrating us and kind of having that connection and whatnot, which made me really, it was tough for me because I build those bonds and you get to meet people and spend time with them, a genuine one-on-one time beyond the cameras, beyond the microphones, beyond all the, schedules, to just get to know people. And we didn't have that last year. How did you navigate last year? Yeah, and no, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, sorry, DT. I was just saying, the navigation, I mean, when you're navigating somewhere, you always have a port to leave out of. And, last year just left so much open and we didn't really know, and everything was kind of up in the air. And then when we found out we couldn't go and that the thing that we become accustomed to, talking to these players, these coaches, the changes in their athletics, to take that all away was this is quite frankly, I think college football is the greatest sport that we have right now. I hope that image, brand, and likeness doesn't change that, because there are so many different ripples that can come from, this being implemented, that I hope that it doesn't change that. That's a very big fear of mine, that money can divide locker rooms, can divide programs, those kinds of things. And, a little bit was talked at ACC Media Day, but, I handle it just like everybody else, Dan, in stride. We have to handle it. We have to, go with what the precautions are and what the CDC says. So I mean, I'm just excited to get back on the field. I'm excited that we have a great conference, that we have some unbelievable playmakers at the quarterback position specifically. I mentioned Sam Howell, McKenzie, De'Ara King, and Phil Jerkovich. I mean, this is going to be a great quarterback conference, and we possibly could have 2 Heisman finalists coming out of our conference this year.
Yeah, and this is going to be very interesting as we get set for this. We look at the fact that we get to vote in these polls, and the polls came out for the ACC for football, and as part of the media covering the ACC, we get to get a vote and get to have our thoughts put out there, and then see did the majority of the media agree or disagree with maybe some of the things we're seeing. As you look at the Atlantic Division, obviously Clemson is at the top. That's kind of a cut and paste from year to year because of the way that Dabo Swinney has run that program and what they've been able to do. But as we look at it, even outside of that, to take an assessment of kind of how you see how it went down compared to your votes, compared to what you had and what you thought was going to kind of come about, how do you look at the Atlantic Coast Conference as far as what the majority of the media voted for? And for people to know, this is how it really broke down. This is what we have here as far as the preseason poll. Now, I said that I'll be putting mine up on my website. People will be able to see it and kind of interact with it and whatnot, and you can give your thoughts on it and see what you think. But there's different thoughts different people have, and some people are going to agree with this and some people are not. The preseason poll for you. What do you think about the Atlantic Division? Clemson was voted by the majority of the media to be first, second NC State, third Boston College, fourth Florida State, fifth Wake Forest, sixth Louisville, and seventh to round out the Atlantic Syracuse. Agree or disagree with how the majority of the media had placed their votes?
I agree with the lower tier, but I think Florida State's going to be much better. Quite frankly, then I think they're going to be the second team after Clemson. Dan, I wanted to mention something that you said in the opening. You said it's more like copy and paste. It's when we come into the ACC season, we always ask the same question: who's going to challenge Clemson? Not even so much who's going to beat them, but who's going to give them a game in the conference. Yeah. Who's going to push them to really see, what they're made of. And quite frankly, besides North Carolina, a year ago, there really hasn't been much. I mean, Clemson's point differential is, over 20 points. So their games are not even close. But as far as the standings, obviously Clemson number one. I think Florida State is a sleeper. I think Milton's going to have a great year. I'm going to sneak them in at number 2 and Boston College at number 3. So I'm not in complete agreement with the order, but the lower half, I think Louisville and Syracuse, they're going to struggle. Defensively, they give up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of sacks. I don't see much changing in either one of those programs. But I do see, Florida State coming up, and I see Milton being, the comeback player of the year.
Yeah, and I agree with you. My voting was that Florida State was higher. I had Florida State where NC State was. And so, NC State, I respect Dave Doran and everything that he's done there. I think I respect him more than a lot of people in Raleigh, it feels like sometimes. But Florida State, to me, is going to be better. I had Wake Forest toward the bottom, Syracuse toward the bottom. So, I can agree with some things in the Atlantic, and I wasn't far off from what the majority of people said, but I had some flip-flops, and I find it interesting that you had that too, where Florida State, you have them higher. I have them higher as well. Mike Norvell, I got to be around him for 4 years at Memphis. We've gotten to know each other for a while. So this is my 6th year with Mike Norvell, not my first. And I have the utmost respect for what he's been able to do and what I think he's capable of doing. Mackenzie Milton, another guy, cover UCF. So I've gotten to be around that in Mackenzie, and I've been banging the drum on Mackenzie Milton 3 years ago. So this Florida State team and their head coach and potential quarterback are not guys that are strangers to me. I think Florida State will be on the uptick, and I don't think that they got the respect that they necessarily deserved in the preseason polling. But it's nice to hear, Euan, that at least you and I think that Florida State has something here that could put them in a good footing, albeit behind Clemson, but still a little bit higher on the list.
Oh, yeah, no question. And, DT, if we switch gears to the Coastal, I have to tell you, I'm just excited about watching De'Ara King and Sam Howell and how their growth and how their progression translates onto the field. These are two students of the game. There's not a throw on the football field they can't make, and they're leaders. So where are they going to take their programs this year? I'm excited to see these great young superstars that I think will be superstars at the next level as well. The Coastal, I have a much more competitive, but it's kind of a toss-up for me. But I think I'm going to go with Miami at the top. I just think they return their linebackers. I think Manny Diaz and the defensive hires will make a difference, and I have giving them a slight edge over North Carolina to win the division, DT.
Yeah, this was one for me where I put North Carolina at the top. Majority of the media chose from 1 to 7 as a whole, as an entirety. The votes broke out with North Carolina 1, Miami, Virginia Tech, Pitt, Virginia, Georgia Tech, Duke. My Coastal division is almost exactly the same as what the majority of the media came out with when the preseason poll was all finished. North Carolina, I believe in Mac Brown. He has definitely made a fan out of me. And what he's been able to do with North Carolina from 0 to hero, I mean, this is a team 2 to 3 wins a season, and now they're vying to, win the Coastal and be at the top. I have Miami too. I know you have Miami slightly above what the majority of the media did. You had Miami, North Carolina. I think you can argue either one. I gave North Carolina like a hair's edge, like skin of their teeth edge, because I like Manny Diaz. I like what he's doing. De'Ara King, another guy. I cover Houston. I cover the American. I've known De'Ara for a few years now, so I am not surprised. I said I knew De'Ara way before Miami did. So to have him as your quarterback and be so excited about it, you should be, because what he did in Houston should make you excited. And if he didn't get injured a couple seasons ago, he was on pace to break all kinds of records and put himself in a great footing. So, I really believe that Miami and North Carolina are going to vie for the top. And then, I had Pittsburgh, I believe, above Virginia Tech. At the bottom, Georgia Tech and Duke, I had that 6 and 7. So, that makes sense to me. Virginia, I don't think is going to be horrible. I think they're going to struggle a little bit, maybe 5 and 7, maybe that type of year. But I see the Coastal really going through Miami or North Carolina, and I would love for, their game against each other to be the determinant. Like, I would love that's a game that I'm circling on the calendar and cannot wait to watch it. I'm ecstatic to see it because Manny Diaz has Miami feeling some kind of way, and Mac Brown has North Carolina feeling some kind of way, and you put that together on the field with, winner takes the division of the Coastal, I think would be huge and really exciting to see. So that's I mean, with the expectation that Clemson's going to be on the other side, that's really the game that I have circled is North Carolina and Miami, and how meaningful that game is going to be. And just for people to know, if you're looking to circle that game on your calendar, that is going to be on October 16th, 5 days before my birthday, Miami at North Carolina. And so make sure that you're watching that on October 16th. But yeah, I mean, that game to me, I think is going to be a huge potential factor in everything. And I just love the fact that we're even talking about Miami and North Carolina in such a way that either one of them is going to potentially win this division, really give us a good season, and hopefully give some type of a crack to show that maybe, the king can bleed a little bit, because nobody makes Clemson bleed at all.
No, you're right, DT. And, we talk about the disparity in talent level. It has shrunk a little bit, but, every single time, every national reporter that I talk to, radio host, what have you, it's always the same question. And when is the question going to change? Who's going to face Clemson? And this year that hasn't changed a bit. So I think the numbers are getting closer, the talent lever's getting closer, but far and away, Clemson's they reload 4-star, 5-star. They continue. I mean, Dabo Swinney does an absolutely fantastic job recruiting. And I'll say this about Mac Brown. I have to give him a lot of credit. When he came out, from the broadcast booth, the first thing he did, hire Phil Longo. Hey, you know what? The game has changed. The approach has changed. Let me get someone in here to help me. He wasn't too proud. I thought that was the best hire in college football, quite frankly. And then he goes out and recruits a hometown kid out of Charlotte and has Sam Howell. And then they have another recruit in back of Sam Howell when he goes to the NFL. So North Carolina is not only going to be good this year, but for also years to come. Mac Brown's done an outstanding job recruiting.
Yeah, and with the ACC being, right there based in Greensboro, North Carolina, speaking here with Euan McCreath of HerbFM Sports Radio, sportswriter and reporter, here with us this morning, and somebody who was down at ACC Kickoff as we were there all converging in one area in Charlotte, North Carolina with 14 institutions a week ago. Being in the state of North Carolina, being in the Charlotte area, we have NC State in Raleigh. We have, Duke out there on Tobacco Road. We have Winston-Salem for Wake Forest, and we have, of course, Chapel Hill with North Carolina. What can you say about being in the state of North Carolina and all of these teams? How would you describe coverage of North Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest, and NC State? Because I'd love to get the angle from somebody who's there kind of living it and breathing it every day.
Well, first and foremost, North Carolina, because not only of their success, but, we obviously talk about Sam Howell, the draft picks that have gone to the NFL, they have superstars. So Carolina is going to take the forefront of any talk in the state of North Carolina. But a close second, not too far, away, 2-3 hours, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. I mean, I think this is a program on the rise. I think that they've predominantly been known as a basketball school, but now they're becoming more competitive in football, and I think that, Wake Forest is probably the second most popular team in the state. Now, when we get down to Duke and NC State, I feel like these are kind of rebuilding programs. I mean, I love both coaches and programs, but they're clearly a big differential. There's a big differential in the talent level of these programs. So, I mean, hey, there's Carolina Blue all over the place. I mean, people love this program. And quite frankly, I mean, we talk about schools that are known predominantly for their basketball program. I mean, that was Carolina years ago, before, the Trubisky's comes along and the Howells. So it is fantastic to live in a state where there is so much college football. But Wake Forest and North Carolina definitely get the bulk of the attention, and quite frankly, DT, rightly so.
That coming from Euan McCreath, hanging out here with us from HerbFM Sports Radio. Euan, before I let you go, college football in general, I released yesterday, really early, I can't even say yesterday, really early this morning, at around 12:35 a.m. this morning, I released an article, The Fall of the Big 12, what realignment could look like, and put all 10 schools of the Big 12, and yes, I did not stutter, folks, it's called the Big 12, and there's only 10, and the Big 10 has 14, and we all talked about it at the dinner table, you and all of us, we all had this discussion of how this makes no sense, but in the dissolving of the Big 12, I gave my thoughts on where I think they'll go, and I'll be sharing that this morning on all of our social media, and it's on the front of the front page of wakeupcalldt.com, so you can just go there and check it out. If you go to wakeupcalldt.com, it says top article, and you'll be able to read that on the homepage just by clicking on it where it says click here to read the fall of the Big 12, what realignment could look like. What are your thoughts on realignment? What are your thoughts? What's going on? You and I were in the ACC kickoff, focusing, asking questions, and somebody walked up to me and said, what do you think about what's going on with Oklahoma? And so, I mean, and then here we are today in a very short time, a week's time. This world is changing, and the SEC, who has 14 schools, including LSU, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Auburn, and so on and so forth, Texas A&M, are now looking to add Oklahoma and Texas. So what is your take on the fact that realignment looks like it's happening, but this time around, unbeknownst to most of us, there could be an entire conference that is erased from history when it's all said and done?
You know what? Honestly, I think it's sad. I mean, honestly, if we end up going to 12 teams in the playoff, I mean, you're looking, honestly, DT, 8 of the 12 teams could come from one conference. I mean, this is absolutely unprecedented. It's not just Texas and Oklahoma leaving. It's 2 of the most popular brands in college football leaving, basically, I don't want to say anything demeaning to the other programs, but they're not half as popular as Texas and Oklahoma. So this is actually going to send all of college football in a whirlwind. Commissioners are scrambling for more teams. I think that, the ACC needs to lock down Notre Dame permanently. And as you wrote in your article, I think West Virginia would be a great fit as well. But quite frankly, we can speculate all we want. There are so many tangibles. There's so many things, television rights, mainly because of the money that goes into that. So, I mean, I miss the old rivalries. I missed it years ago when they did I'm a Big East guy. So, now to have the AAC, I don't like it. I mean, of course, there's going to be new rivalries, but I'm an old school guy. But it's college football, and it's the money that it's generated from is making things happen this way. I mean, we're looking at an unprecedented time in college football right now. We can speculate all we want, but the bottom line is we don't know what conferences are going to look like and what teams are going where next year. But right now, let's play the game. Let's let it all on the field, and then in the offseason, Dan, I got to tell you, this is only a start of things to come for college football.
Yeah, and one of the things that I had written in the article is the fact that a team that I felt like when they left the ACC, they left kind of looking over their shoulder saying, did we make the right decision? It's like you're leaving your ex's house. You just broke up with him. You said, I can't be with you. It's not you, it's me, whatever. And as you're walking out the door, you have like a tear going down the side of your face. You're looking over your shoulder thinking, we were supposed to go apple picking this weekend. Well, who am I going to watch my favorite show with? That's how I saw Maryland walking out of the ACC. It was like, what are you doing? How does this make any sense for you? You're going to the Big Ten. Well, okay, well, you get to play Michigan and Michigan State in basketball. That's cool. But in football, how are you going to have relevancy? And they haven't. Them and Rutgers has made no sense inside of the Big Ten. So in my article, I said, with bringing in West Virginia from the Big 12, the ACC would need to even out. They already have 14. They want to get to 16. They get to 16 and equal out the SEC. They'll be the only 2 conferences with 16 schools. How do they get a 16th school? Well, they call Maryland and say, hey, Maryland, listen, we know you made a mistake. Why don't you just come home? And I feel like Maryland coming back to the ACC, I don't think the Big Ten would care. And I just feel like it never made sense for Maryland to leave. And I always thought they left with, looking over their shoulder, so to speak. Like, did we make the right decision? And now, almost a decade later, I don't think they've made the Big Ten any better. And I don't think they could hurt the ACC by coming back.
I agree. I mean, let's say it for what it is. They're irrelevant in the Big Ten. I mean, and you know what else, too? Let's revisit those old Maryland, Duke, Carolina rivalries in basketball. I think it makes perfect sense for them to come back. I mean, I don't know if familiarity is anything, but, for me and all the teams that it just makes sense. But, this conference realignment, DT, is just unprecedented. I mean, we could literally have teams that we never thought would leave a conference go to someplace completely different. This changes everything what Oklahoma and Texas have done. This I don't think we'll ever see it, again, but this is going to start a domino effect, as I said, DT. So the sky's the limit. Anyone could basically go anywhere. And I'll also say this, DT, I'm interested to see the ramifications, because obviously the conference is not happy. They're very, very upset. I mean, other school presidents within the conference have come and made statements. Do they try to sabotage this move? Can they sabotage this move? Because quite frankly, every other school in that conference knows that they're legit because of Oklahoma and Texas being in there and the revenue that they bring in. So it's gonna be tough, but it'll be interesting to see how things play out.
Coming from Euan McCreath here with us, sports writer and reporter, HerbFM Sports Radio. Euan, before I let you go, I do a thing on my show called Rapid Fire. It allows me as a broadcaster to flip the script and allow somebody else to ask the questions. I know as a reporter, you know how to do this, and you've asked plenty of questions and a lot of great stuff at ACC Kickoff. But I'm going to flip the script on myself, and I'm going to put myself on the hot seat. You can ask me sports or unrelated. Could be anything. Any 3 questions on your mind. We're on live video and live radio. I have to answer the questions, but from a reporter to a reporter, I'm going to hand you the microphone, and you can ask me anything in the world. 3 questions whenever you're ready.
Most embarrassing sports moment for you?
Oh, my goodness. I would have to say most embarrassing sports moment for me.
Either covering or playing. Let me throw that caveat in there.
Yeah, I would have to say when I was really little, I think when I played t-ball, I hit the actual like tee so hard, and the ball like just barely dropped off. So I'd probably have to. I mean, they say I played basketball my whole life, and you know, there's the notion that if you're a good basketball player, you suck at baseball. Well, I hope I'm a good basketball player then, because I was not the baseball guy. I mean, I probably could have honed my skills and done a little bit better, but Little League was an interesting place for me, and I had fun being around my teammates, but yeah, I was not. I remember one time I sat out in, was I in left field or something like that, and I sat out there, and nobody was hitting the ball out there. And I sat down on the ground. And it was like, what are you doing? Get up. You can't be sitting on the ground. I'm like, nobody's hitting the ball out here. Like, I'm bored. And so I sat on the ground, and I kid you not, this ball came out. Everybody's screaming and yelling. I'm like, what's everybody getting upset about? The ball falls right next to me. My glove was open, and it fell next to my open glove. It didn't even fall in my open glove. So, yeah. And so I would have to say that, because anytime people are like, they're like, how do you like Little League? I'm like, my mom gets me Jolly Ranchers at the break. You know, like that. And so Brian, that's all I cared about. And Brian Regan made a joke about that. He's like, I'm out in right field. And they'd be like, hey, Brian, 2 away. And he's like, grape. I get a grape snow cone after the game. And that's how I felt. I was there for the candy. I was there for the snack area. And my mom used to always give me candy in the dugout. So that's what I remember.
DT, my second question is, give me a team that's not on anybody's radar that has a chance to make the college football playoff this year.
Oh, wow. Team that's not on anybody's radar that has the chance to make the college football playoff this year.
None of the big boys, not Clemson, not Ohio State, not Oklahoma. Give me some team that you think has the ability to shock the world this year.
You know what? I'm gonna say. Well, I know that they won't let the American in until they make it 12. So last year I would have said Cincinnati, but I'm gonna say, even though they're in the SEC, I don't think they get looked at as much. I think Jimbo's doing a great job. If Texas A&M can do what they did last year, I think they deserve to be in it last year. So I'll say maybe a sleeper is Texas A&M if they can repeat what they did last year.
Wow. Yeah, the Yankees. I mean, just to turn back the clock a little bit, Jimbo's departure from Florida State. And by the way, speaking of Florida State, we just want to send out our thoughts and prayers to Coach Bowden. Yeah. I got a chance to talk to him a couple of times, but one of the true great ambassadors for college football, TT.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby Bowden, incredible. And my closest friend, Evan, huge fan of Bobby Bowden. So, Bobby, for you, for your family, for everyone, we send out our prayers, our well wishes, and our hopes, and all of our love to each and every single one of you. And I give Mike Norvell a lot of credit that he started differently than every other coach at the ACC Kickoff with an opening address where before he took questions, he put out a positive message for Bobby Bowden. So, Bobby and the entire family, all the ones in everyone's life that you've touched, everyone's in our prayers, and I hope nothing but the best for a guy who just seemed to be synonymous with FSU, and I think he always will be.
No question. And with that, synonymous with winning and doing it with class, I think are two things I'd like to throw in there. DT, my third and final question, my man. Give me, let's see. Tell me, DT, about a time in your life that made you feel the most alive. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening. Maybe it's when Wake Up Call DT got started. Was that a moment for you? Share with us that.
I would say time I felt most alive.
Yeah.
I would.
Questions, man. You gave me the microphone, buddy, so you're not getting off the hook, buddy.
I know.
Yeah, time just things just happen to supernaturally fall into place, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, I would have to say, something that kind of just took me. I would have to say there was a time a couple years ago when I was in Charlotte, and I rented some like small car because I didn't need any. I mean, it's just me. And in Charlotte, they always seem to like hook me up and do right by me, except for the company this year that didn't have a car for me when I got in 2 hours late from my flight that got delayed. But I'll leave that company out of it, and whatever. But there was this other company. I mean, normally when I'm in Charlotte, things go really, really well with the car and whatnot. And they let me take a Jeep Wrangler. And I remember I got in the Jeep Wrangler. It was so cool. It was such an awesome car. And I sat in it. And I never grew up listening to country music, and I didn't like it. And so I remember I'm in the cars. It was a couple years ago. I got the Jeep Wrangler. I'm driving. I got the sunroof open. I got the windows down. I'm listening to country music. And I just felt at ease. I felt at peace. And there was a girl that I had dated that lives in the North Carolina area. And I thought to myself, dang it, if she could only see me now, because she didn't think I liked country music or any of this stuff. And I just remember sitting there saying, I've been through so many things in my life. I was driving. I know exactly where I was driving, and I thought, I got over her. I got over this. I got over so many things. I've worked my butt off to get to where I am. I looked at the credential that was around my neck, and I just thought to myself, like, you know what, Dan? Life does some crazy things, and things don't go as you plan them always, but you have such a beautiful life and you have such a wonderful story. And it was just smelling to come, but it was just a feeling of, just love and appreciation for God, for my life, for adversity, for just finding that love for yourself and knowing that it comes from within. I mean, I had a moment where I just felt like everything meant something, everything, that I've worked toward and what I've been and where I'm going. It just made me feel like, you know what, this world can take a lot of things, but it can't take my soul. It can't take my positivity. It can't take my love. It can't take my belief in God. And it was a reminder to me that you are the strongest person you know. You are the most incredible person that you know, and you are the person that can really rise out of any storm. And I just felt like a phoenix, and I felt that way in a lot of different places. But I can tell you that there are moments in life where you're just sitting in a car listening to music, staring ahead as the sun's setting, and you just realize everything's happening for a reason.
Wow, DT, that was extremely profound, man. That was absolutely phenomenal. I've had those moments myself, but thanks for sharing. And at the end of the day, as you tell me that things, what will be, and things happen because, the big man upstairs makes them happen. So, there's an incredible comfort knowing that we have the faith that we have. And quite frankly, I don't know how people get through life without a little faith, But it's been fantastic to come on here, talk a little football, revisit, ACC Media Day. And it was just fantastic to meet you. And of course, I'm a big fan, DT, of the website and your articles. So continue to do great work.
Yeah, man, and you too. And I appreciate everything you brought, more than anything, the positivity that you brought. And I don't think I'll ever hear my name the same way when you walk up and bump my fist and you're like, DT! So, like, I think you've perfected the way to say DT, and you know, your positivity, your energy, your enthusiasm, and just want for other people to be successful, not just yourself. It's a true sign that you get it. It's a true sign that you understand and appreciate the things that matter in life. And I just want you to know that your positivity and your want for everybody to eat at the dinner table really goes a long way. And I think that was one of the greatest blessings of going to Charlotte and going to the ACC Kickoff this year, is being able to meet you, talk with you, and, you know, be here this morning with myself saying, you know what, you never know who's going to be in your corner or want the best for you or give you a positive message. And I can honestly tell you that there's many times in the last couple of weeks where you have been such a positive piece that it was hard to be negative. So I hope that other people tell you that it's really hard to be negative when they're around you.
You know what? I have heard some things along the line, but, you know, it's just what's inside of me, DT. And, you know, it was funny because when we were at the, you know, asking questions and everything, I'm like, you know, this guy is absolutely killing it. And I remember I pulled up Wake Up Call DT right away, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, this is awesome. So, you know, thank you so much, DT, for having me on your show today. It was great meeting you. We'll be friends for life. And, you know, I'm just looking forward to seeing what the next step is for you and Wake Up Call DT and for me as well. And I hope we can do it again sometime real soon.
Yeah, man, we will. I told you. I got ties to Charlotte. I love the Queen City, so I got some stuff here. But I appreciate it as always. Thank you for everything you do, and for all the compliments that you give me. I send them back to you tenfold. So keep doing you, keep believing in it, and understand guiding and guarding is going to lead your way, and keep your faith in the big guy upstairs. It'll all work out. But thank you for everything, Euan, and I really appreciate that I got to have you on the show today. But I very, very much appreciate the off-the-air conversations and everything. So God bless to you, and keep doing you, and I know that things will start to show you on the path where you're supposed to be, and I'm excited to see what you do next.
Awesome. Thanks, DT. Appreciate that. And love DT Nation. And we'll talk soon. Have a great rest of the day. Talk to you soon, DT.
All right, man. Be good.
Bye-bye.
Take care. That coming from Euan McCreath once again on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll wrap up this week of Wake Up Call right after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, is our home for everything Liverpool athletics related. The Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location monthly show happens for you only at Avicoli's, and we love being there with the Liverpool Warriors and everything that we get to do on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York. Make sure you head out there Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks at Avicoli's. You can enjoy their casual pizza side, their fine dining side, as well as their outdoor dining and their bar. And, of course, for takeout, delivery, and catering, you can call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100, and you can also go online to myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com, so make sure that you do that today. Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding are here for you in the community to take care of your furry-loving friend. We know that when we drop our dogs off, we don't want to just leave them with anybody. We want them to feel safe, we want them to feel loved and appreciated, and we want to feel safe leaving them in the hands of people that we can truly trust to treat them with the respect that we treat them with when they're at home. So look no further than Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, treating our little loved ones like their own little loved ones, whether they're little loved ones or they're the big ones. So whatever it may be, whatever size, whatever breed, Canine Camp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding on 242 Johnson Street, both in East Syracuse, around the corner from one another, go above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that they take care of the animals that we love so very much. PB&J's Lunchbox is that food truck that you have been following all throughout the community. In Central and Upstate New York, their food truck stays busy every single week. And now, when you're craving their food Monday through Saturday, you can go see them at their Street Side Cafe. So if you're sitting here going, well, when's the event? When are they going to be there? I can't make this event. I can't do this. Well, that's totally fine. PB&J's Lunchbox, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Go and get their food. You can order breakfast for dinner, dinner for breakfast, lunch whenever you want. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day long, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., including the award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly, and on-site, on location at PB&J's Lunchbox on 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Minutes from Destiny, USA, Onondaga Lake Parkway, the Thruway, and the Highway. All roads converge at PB&J's Lunchbox. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York. I have trusted them for almost a decade with my injury and going to see them from head to toe. Whatever you need treated, they are there for you, be it preventative care, rehab and physical therapy, or surgery, or a little bit of everything. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics understands that it takes small steps daily to get to your own personal victory. And what I love about it is they care about everybody's victory. They listen to their patients, talk with their patients, and they want to hear from you and really understand how you feel about what's going on. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics has a personal touch that's led by Dr. Mark Petropoli, and it's second to none, which is why I've trusted them as long as I have, and I will continue to. 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York for Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, preventative care, rehab, and physical therapy, as well as surgery. Call for your appointment today at 315-685-7544. That's 315-685-7544. With that being stated here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, I want to thank you all for tuning in today to Wake Up Call and tuning in every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Inside of these Cafe Kubal studios, Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 208 North Townsend Street, as well as 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse. Inside of Galisanos Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse. We thank them and send them blessings, and may God be with all of them today as they help out all of the families at Galisano. So we want to give them a special thank you. And, sometimes coming downstairs and getting a cup of coffee is the best thing ever with what those families are going through and dealing with. Sometimes you just need to have that, that sense of normalcy. So thank you to Cafe Kubal for being there. And they're also out on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius. And their newest location and first ever drive-through location is on Sweetheart Corner's nostalgic place in North Syracuse on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road. So go and see them today. And of course, like I said, you're watching and listening to Wake Up Call Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT. Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.com. And of course, you could search our archive, which will be added to this weekend. You can search us on MixLR, Spotify, YouTube, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, as well as Podbean and iTunes and Apple Podcasts by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora or simply searching one word, Wake Up Call DT. Proud thanks to all of our partners in Central and Upstate New York: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, Mother's Cupboard, Honda City of Liverpool, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Pizza Man, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, PB&J's Lunchbox, the Millhouse Market, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, and of course Ma & Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. Use the promo code DT20 at checkout at maandpazpopcorn.com. That's maandpazpopcorn.com. Use my promo code DT20 and you will get 20% off your online order for in-store pickup or delivery to any one of the 50 states. So make sure that you do that today. And with that being said, here on a Friday, we're going to do the Friday Food Challenge, and I will be on site, on location, for the first time ever at Mother's Cupboard. And we are doing a food challenge monthly, every single month, doing a different food challenge at Mother's Cupboard, which now has the DT Special Chicken and Waffles. I got to design, with owner Pete Green, my chicken and waffles. We got to create the sauce together and create the breading of the chicken, put it all together with the waffle. You've never had chicken and waffles like you're going to have it at Mother's Cupboard. Go out and get my signature, my special, my created with Pete Green DT Special Chicken and Waffles. Go and get those today. And, of course, watch our first ever food challenge that we're going to do at Mother's Covered. And I'm very excited about that. Greg said, seize the weekend. Enjoy. You too, sir. And Russell said, you're a great man, Dan. Have a good weekend. You too. And Greg said, I can certainly see why you exude so much joy regarding the ACC Kickoff. What an amazing group of journalists and individuals you get to collab and interact with. Great stuff. So, God's unexpected blessings, man. God's secret blessings. So, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. I mean, God is great. Let's be real about that. So, make sure you read the article about my belief on what's going to happen with the Big 12. I'm actually going to put it here so you can click on it on Facebook here in the feed. But it's called The Fall of the Big 12, What Realignment Could Look Like. Make sure you check that out today and read that. It is free to read, and it is free to join, wakeupcalldt.com. So make sure you subscribe today. In the meantime, Facebook at wakeupcalldt, Twitter at calldt, and Instagram at wakeupcall_dt. I don't have words. I don't. For what Euan said, for what Greg said, for what Russell said. Y'all, I needed it today. So thank you. I appreciate you. And I send you all my love and blessings. Prayers to everybody that needs them. Prayers to my cousin Ronnie and his family and to everyone. So God bless. No stress. Do your best. I will talk with you all soon. This week coming up is Atlantic Week. The entire Atlantic Coast Conference. All of my Q&As from ACC Kickoff with all 7 schools, including Syracuse of the Atlantic Division, come your way in the first week here in August. In week number 2 in August, the entire Coastal Division will take over, and then we'll be down in Florida for Florida in Focus. So many good things coming up. Such a great month coming up. I will see you in August. I love you to pieces. I hope you have a great day. Please stay blessed. Please don't stress, and please just do your best and believe in God. Ask God to guard you and guide you toward what is good, guard you from what is not, and just have faith. Just have faith. Just have faith. Okay? I appreciate you all. I love you all. I hope you all have a fantastic day. And thank you for all of your positive words today. I really don't know what to say. So, much love and much appreciation. Thanks to Juanita. Thanks to Euan. Thanks to all of our guests this week. Thanks to Russell. Thanks to Greg. Thanks to Trip Durham. Thanks to Alex Dodd. Thank you to Christopher Heidel. Thank you to Gina Castelli. Thank you to Dave Paziak. And special thanks to Shamarko Thomas. I'll speak with you all soon. Be well, be good, and keep spreading love. Take care.